One of the dominant driving forces in society in recent history has been the so-called digital revolution. It's everywhere. There's no escaping it. Everything from sending a greeting card to shopping to banking can be accomplished with a few deft keystrokes and mouse clicks, and comics are by no means outside of this domain. Depending on who you talk to, people are either afraid of or embracing the notion that the move towards a paperless society will result in the extinction of comics as we now know them. All of our comics will be digitized, they say. There will be no need for Mylar bags and acid-free boards. A fully paperless society is at the extreme end of the spectrum, to be sure. But the proliferation of computers and the internet hold an enormous amount of potential for the comics form, for a number of reasons. First, I'll address the question of making money in comics via the internet, since I see it as having sort of an overblown potential. Now, when I say making money in comics via the internet, I don't mean selling actual paper and ink comic books through an online store. That's something I'll discuss a little later. What I mean is charging for actual web content, a digital comic on the internet. There's possibility there, but it's limited. People won't pay for what they can get for free elsewhere. Thus, a single creator with a small number of online comics, no matter how good they are, stands little chance of being paid for her effort due to the fact that there's an abundance of free content to be found on other sites. That having been said, there is strength in numbers. A group of creators offering a larger number of quality comics has a better shot at making some money. Modern Tales is one example of this. It's a collective of artists who present a variety of professional quality comics online, with some well-known creators like James Kolchaka and Leah Hernandez. Modern Tales charges a nominal subscription fee and has free comics available as bait for customers. The difficulty then comes in how much to charge and how to bring traffic to the site. Each of these bears an assortment of financial and technological considerations that are beyond the scope of this paper. But to put it briefly, the easier it is to pay, the greater amount of people who will be willing to pay. However, the easier it is to pay, the more security you want to have, and neither convenience nor security come cheap. Similarly, advertising is a tried and true method to generate income and attract customers. But annoying ads in the form of gaudy, flashing banners and never-ending pop-up windows can be counterproductive. Striking a balance of efficiency and consideration is key, and no matter what, it's not free. There are prospects of trading ad space with other like-minded sites and soliciting reviews from popular news and pop culture sites in the hopes of getting positive word-of-mouth advertising, and numerous other channels. But each of these is fairly limited. The concept of micropayments is often discussed in relation to e-commerce, and in theory, it seems quite sound and has tremendous potential, but it has not yet reached wide-scale usage, and most implementations thus far have been relatively poor. Once a good implementation is created and some standardization is brought into the system, though, micropayments will definitely become a powerful tool for e-commerce. Micropayment systems also generally require the buyer to have an account with the service provider as well as the seller. Numerous competing micropayment services means that buyers would have to either set up and keep track of multiple accounts or simply ignore the content that doesn't offer payment through a particular vendor. Services like PayPal are another option, but often they lack the speed and ease of use factors. With such services, the buyer is often redirected to another site to complete the transaction. How many users will be willing to go through that to view an online comic? Probably not many. There's also the donation system and tip jars that have become popular, but these are hardly reliable sources of income. Until these difficulties are overcome, inexpensive subscription-type billing seems the most viable option for earning income from online comics. It's not impossible to make money with online comics, especially if you also factor in sales of ancillary merchandise like t shirts and mouse pads. But it certainly isn't easy. The downside to being on more equal terms with everybody, one of the benefits of the internet, is that you're also in direct competition with everyone else. Working your way up to the point of turning a profit via online comics can be a long, arduous task, often for little payoff. But it can also be fun and fulfilling. This, of course, fits right in with the concept of comic books being a labor of love in today's market.